Okay.
Good morning, everyone. This is kind of a little bonus video. I know this isn't the supper time, dinner time, whichever you call it. Some people call it supper, some call it dinner. The struggle is real for me because my in-laws call lunch supper and lunch dinner and supper. I don't know. But anyways, we're in the middle of so that I get frustrated. I just say middle of the day meal, end of the day meal. So I've done a quick little of the day meal here for you, and I'm doing this one on purpose because, first of all, credit goes out to Danielle. She taught me this years ago when she was living here after they first got married and before they had babies, and she used to do this quite often so you didn't waste anything or throw anything away. So here we are. We think this is from a few days ago, actually almost a week ago actually. Tim and I had done some steak, and this is all that's left. Doesn't seem like a lot, and you think to yourself, well, maybe I'll just, I don't know, there's no meal there. But there is. You can get a pretty robust and full meal from that little bit of steak that's left over. Now, what I'm going to show you today, I use steak, pork chops, any meat I use, chicken, pork, anything. I've never done it with seafood yet, but that would be kind of cool, I think. We should try it with shrimp. I think it would be fun. But anyways, I've never done it with any seafood yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this meat and we are going to take tortillas, burritos, whatever you call it, put it on, there we go, I always make it half because it's going to end up folding over, putting it on my broiler, whatever you call it. Griddle, thank you. And I'm just literally, and I'm careful to cut them small pieces because you're biting into something like that and you can't see what you've got. So I always make them small, nice pieces that nobody can choke on or anything. I never make them long strips. I take out any fats or anything because Tim is a man who will not eat any meat with any fat on it to speak of. So I'm always trimming fat when I love the fat. That's my favorite part. I think that's where the flavor is, but I got a man that eats much more sensibly than me, I guess. So, literally, this is all you do in very small pieces. It's probably a little boring. I probably should have had this cut up a little bit before I started this for you. Sorry about that. But I'll at least cut up enough to put into this one. And there's actually even enough for one for me, too. That just shows you how versatile you can be with even the smallest, tiniest piece of something left over. You really don't have to throw anything away. Or I know I have a dog to feed, and I like to give her table scraps sometimes, and Tim will tell you probably more often than I should because he has nicknames for her. What are a few of them, honey? Roly-poly and something else.
Porco butt.
Porco butt, that's the one. Poor Daisy. He calls Daisy porco butt, which just horrifies me. So I'm going to do mine afterwards, but this is enough cut up for Tim for sure. Again, halfway, and you just throw these bad boys right on here, and see how full this already is? So that's a full one for him for sure. I usually do them both at the same time, but I put the grill on already, so I want to keep going for you. And he, of course, loves onions, so I throw onions in there. You can throw anything you want in there. Olives. I actually bought yesterday when I was at my grocery store run. The only, and I mean the only, fresh vegetables I picked were these. And those would go fantastic in there, but Tim doesn't want them in there right now. And then the last thing you're going to throw on there, of course, is your handful of cheese. Bam. Like bam. And again, you don't have to have mozzarella. Don't run to the store. It's whatever cheese you have on hand. It would be great with any different kinds of cheddars. It'd be fantastic with a pepper jack because it would give it that extra little bit of spice to it. And literally I'm going to flip that a couple of times, and that is all there is to it. When this is done, I'll plate it and I'll show you how easy it is. And then when it is done and it's on the plate, we use like any kind of salsa, anything. This is what I'm using today for him, but for myself, I love the sweetness, so I love all the Newman's Owns. And then some sour cream. Again, you can put yogurt on it if you want to get that sour creamy thing, whatever. But what I'm showing you is you probably wouldn't have touched that. You probably would not have touched that piece of meat normally. You probably would have said, okay, that's done. I can't do anything else with it. And we've just made a full meal that Tim and I are going to be totally satisfied with. And look, I've only made his, and how much is still left of that meat. That was not a large piece of meat. But you got a whole meal out of this very small portion of steak in this instance. But I use chicken, turkey, I do pork chops, pork steak, any piece of ham, any piece of meat at all, I put inside here. I don't throw even the smallest piece away. Well, as you can see, it's starting to brown up, and the what I'm waiting for is for it to brown on each side and for the cheese to melt. While we're doing that, I want to show you over here, our cake from last night. I had said that, oh, I didn't want to frost the whole cake because I didn't want any frosting to separate on top of it. So this is what I'm doing with it. This is still the leftover frosting. I haven't made any more yet, but I will be making some today. And I'm just doing like a dollop on the top as if you're frosting the cake, but just enough that would be on the top of any piece that you normally, if you had frosting on it. And there you go. I'm serving it like that. And then for fun, whoa, yesterday the only fruit I did get was two things. Over here, I got bananas, and I got bananas on purpose because not only do I want to eat bananas, but I want to show you some fantastic down the road a couple of days when these start turning brown. I'm going to leave a few of them to turn brown on purpose because I want to show you some very versatile recipes for that. This has to be turned off. It's going crazy. Anyways, over here, one last fun thing you could do is throw a raspberry or two on top of it just to gild the lily a little bit. And that's what we're doing with our birthday cake. As you can see, it's melting in here. I've turned it off because I had it a little bit too high. And in a minute, I'm going to take this right out, and he'll open it up. And Tim's going to open it up. He's going to put his salsa and anything else he wants in there. Just look in that fridge. What do you have that's fun? And it's amazing how you can just use little bits and scraps. You still don't even have to throw the little bits and scraps away. So yeah, there. So we do know what we're having for dinner tonight. I totally forgot yesterday when we were chatting and cooking what it was going to be. It is macaroni and cheese tonight, homemade macaroni and cheese. There's a lot, and again, that's another personal item. People like to make it certain ways. So when I do my filming of it, I'd like you all to tag your suggestions on, like you did with the shepherd's pie and stuff. But we're gonna make macaroni and cheese tonight. And so anyways, there you go. It's all set. It hasn't melted as much as I want it to, so I'm going to put it on when it gets a little bit cooler and let it melt a little bit. I don't want it to be any more warm, brown than that. But that's how easy it is to make a meal out of the smallest piece of meat. Bam! We have a meal, a lunch for Tim and I. That easy. So have fun with it. See you later today. Bye.